My name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. In this live session, we will be discussing Indian Express of today's. So we'll discuss few important news from the front page, and then we'll move to some portion of your explained part or around the world part. Okay, so first we will see that obviously the first phase of our elections has started. So if you are eligible for voting, please go and vote. So decision 2024 begins today. Okay, and then we will see Supreme Court reserves order says rising turnout shows people's faith. Okay, I will not discuss this article in length because we have discussed this yesterday, and even before also we have discussed about it, that there was this petition related to 100% verification of EVMs. Okay, but the thing is, we have already talked about this particular issue. Here only one thing is there, that Supreme Court has said that since the voter turnout has been increasing, recently it is somewhere around 66%. So if such a voter turnout is there, that means that people are having a trust or having a faith on our electoral system. So there is no need to go for a change. No doubt they have reserved the decision as of now, that particular petition. So we will wait for the result and then we will actually go for the discussion. Okay, then there is this particular article that is related to Mariam Court's father Nawaz don't fight with neighbors, open door of friendship. Okay, so it is about India-Pakistan relations. We will give a passing reference to that. Okay, other than that, we will discuss these three articles here. How added sugar harms babies. Okay, so you must have seen that there are various baby products in the market, and these baby products have certain you can say form of sugars which are not good for health of the baby. So we will be discussing how they are harming them. Okay, specifically here we will be talking about a survey which has been taken with the products of Nestle. Okay, then voice swap technology. This voice swap technology, or you can say this is also a part of your deep fake technologies. Okay, so we will see what is voice swap, what is deepfake, etc. Okay, then Haiti wants France to repay. Okay, now Haiti is a, you can say, island in the Caribbean region. We will see, and they used to be colony of France, and now they are asking France to repay for the you can say exploitation they have done at that point of time when it was a colony. Okay, so we will see that thing. Around the world we will see one or two news related to Iran, Pakistan, etc. Okay, for your own read, there is one article, then last would be your practice question. Okay, we'll start with the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture. So let's see. Under the latest FEMA rules, how much FDI is allowed through the automatic route for launch of vehicles and associated systems or subsystems? Actually, I must have told you that because Elon Musk is visiting, and other than that also India is trying to boost the electrical vehicle sector. Then when we are talking about the space technology sector, so that is why they have gone for some relaxations in the FDI of space sector. Okay, when we are talking about this particular route, that is for a launch vehicles and the associated system, that is 49%. So up to 49% automatic investment can be done, and afterwards you have to take approval from the government. Okay, so I hope we have discussed this article yesterday. If you have not watched it, you can go and watch that particular video, because FDI rules for your space sector has been changed. In some areas they have also allowed 100% of FDI by the way of automatic route. Okay, now moving to the first part of our discussion, that is related to report flags sweeten Nestle products, how added sugar harms babies. Okay, now there are three things. There are two kind of sugar. One is natural, one is added or artificial sugar. Okay, so when we are talking about natural sugar, that is basically you find in your fruits, etc. So that is natural, and that is less harmful, you can say. When we are talking about added sugar or any added chemical, that is sweetener, etc., these are basically a little bit harmful for your health as well, as be it adult or be it babies. But when we are talking about babies, it is more vulnerable because obviously they are in their phase, early development phase, and such things can be harmful. Okay, with sugar there are certain diseases, lifestyle diseases, which are you can say attached to that. That is like the diabetes is attached to that. There are other things like if you are going for the more intake of sugar, there can be you can say obesity, etc. that can happen. Okay, because of obesity there can be cardiovascular related diseases as well. So this is all lifestyle diseases which are linked to each other. So let's come to the article. We will see what is happening over here. Okay, Nestle products for babies sold in India and other Asian, Latin American and African countries have significantly added sugar. Now they are talking about Asian countries, Latin American countries and African countries. Basically you can say the global south, or you can say the developing countries. Okay, so in these countries they have significant added sugar. But when we are talking about the same products in the European countries, they have lesser sugar. Okay, so there is, you can say that there is kind of discrimination over here, or that can be because of lack of awareness, etc. also. Okay, so same product in Europe or UK do not have such amount of sugar. Okay, Nestle is world's biggest packaged food company. You must have heard about it. Nestle, there is coffee, there is other chocolates, etc. are available in the market. It controls 20% of the baby food market, valued at nearly 70 billion US dollar. Baby food market is another altogether another industry. There are 15 products of Nestle Cerelac brand. There is this Cerelac brand is there. When we are talking about Nestle, there is a sister company or sub brand which is basically selling this baby products. Okay, meant for babies of age 6 months and older. It contains 2.7 gram of added sugar per serving. The sugar content was declared on the packaging in India. So this sugar content was declared on the packaging, but people are not aware. That is why they do not have problem with that. Okay, now here you can see a spokesperson of the Nestle has said that reduction of the sugar is the priority. Over the past 5 years, we have already reduced added sugar by 30%. They are saying that we are reducing it, but again, when we are talking about UK's standard, when we are talking about our developing countries standard, global south standard, they are yet still more. There is a reason, because when we are talking about the UK or US like companies, they have high standard of you can say non-tariff barriers. Okay, so if you want to supply something or export something over there, you have to follow certain guidelines, you have to follow certain quality. Okay, when it comes to the developing countries like South African countries and South American countries, or let's say India, there are not such big restrictions. Okay, and that is why these countries take advantage, these companies take advantage of such things. The Food Safety Regulation FSSAI did not comment on this particular report, but government official has said that lab reports of the sample from India will be sought, which will be examined by the FSSAI. Okay, so that is the another thing, they will examine it later, but as of now this is the case. What are added sugar? Okay, so as I told you, there are two types of sugar. One is natural. Okay, that is already existing in some kind of foods, like when we are talking about milk, we have lactose. When we are talking about fruits, we have fructose. Okay, and any product that contain milk, such as yogurt, milk or cream or fruits, etc., all these are having some kind of natural sugars with that. Okay, now natural sugars are not that much harmful. Okay, added or free sugars are sweetening agents that are added to the processed food or the beverages. Okay, so when we are talking about your soft drinks, they are mostly sugar. Okay, the sugar content in a soft drink is very high. So that is one thing. Then include natural sugars such as white sugar, brown sugar and honey, as well as other caloric sweeteners that are chemically manufactured, such as high fructose corn syrup, etc. Okay, now when we are talking about these added sweeteners, these are more harmful. Why added sugars are especially harmful for babies? Okay, so when we consider babies are even in their early development phase, they are learning the taste, etc. So when we are talking about such milk products which are being given to them, okay, and there is this artificial sugar in that, so the taste they acquire out of it, they like the taste, that is pleasant taste, because it is sweet. Okay, so because of which they get addicted to the sugar content, and ultimately that will harm their lifestyle later. Okay, so here there is some you can say WHO's advice, that is WHO advises against the introduction of added sugar before the age of 2. Before the age of 2 you are not supposed to give any kind of added sugar. Okay, but when we are talking about these products, these starts from 6 months and older. Okay, so that is one concern here. The introduction of the added sugar in baby food can contribute to the development of addictive eating habits. As I told you, they can get this addiction to the sugar and a preference for sweet taste from the early age. Okay, now when you are having a preference for the sweet taste, there are certain issues related to it, like that is, one is weight gain, obesity, increased risk of developing chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes, heart diseases, and even in certain cases cancer can also be there. Okay, so that is basically the, you can say, concern related to the life or health of a baby if they are starting to go for sugar content in the early ages. Okay, now Additionally, high sugar consumption in infancy has been associated with the increased risk of dental caries. As I told you, tooth decay. You must have heard that in the early age of the development, the tooths are having a lot of problem with the babies. So here you can see in the early age, if you are going for the more and more sweetness, there can be a tooth decay, and poor nutrient intake as sugary foods often displace more nutritious options which are available. Okay, so since you must have heard that most of the time kids prefer chocolates, they prefer sweetness, sweets, etc., and because of which once they take the sugar and their appetite actually dies, because of which ultimately the nutrition available, or you can say alternative options available like grains or like fruits, etc., they are avoidant of that. Okay, so ultimately their nutrients requirements are not being fulfilled because they are eating too much of sugar. Okay, so that is also a concern over here. Now when you add sugar to a baby formula food, babies are too much likely to drink it up because they are having a pleasant taste. Okay, so basically that is what is happening in the baby food because of the this particular sweetness. These baby foods are basically being preferred, and even parents are also going for such things. It is nowadays, when we are talking about the modernity or when we are talking about the westernization, most of the time you will see that even in India, most of the parents are opting for the baby food because their babies like it. Okay, but ultimately that is harming them. So that is basically your harmful effect. Now, how much sugar is too much sugar? In 2015, WHO called on countries to reduce free sugar intake in children and adults, that is 10% of total energy intake. Okay, in a day, if you are having total energy intake, or let's say you are consuming 100 calories, so only 10 should be related to your sugar. Other than that, all of them should be other parts. Okay, so here you can say it also make recommendation of cutting to 5% or the 25 gram per day. Okay, so they are saying that 10% you can do, but if you can go for 5%, that is even better, or you can say 25 grams per day. Okay, and did not apply to natural sugars. Now this particular you can say number is attached to the artificial sugars, or you can say the added sugars, and not for the natural sugars, which we have already discussed that it is in fruits, it is in milk or any kind of milk related products like yogurt, curd, etc. Okay, now what do Indians guidelines say? So in India, we do not have such guidelines related to the added sugar. We have the guidelines that this particular content should have this much amount of carbohydrates, this much amount of protein, this much amount of fat. All these things should be there. What should not be there is not given over here. Okay, so they did not have any kind of guideline related to the sugar. Okay, regulations here does not prescribe any upper limit for added sugar. It gives requirement of various micronutrients such as protein, fat, carbohydrates, and micronutrients such as vitamin C, D, iron, and zinc. Okay, the regulation allow for the use of corn syrup and malt as a cereal-based infant foods. It also allows the use of sucrose and fructose as the carbohydrate source, provided it make up less than 20% of the carbohydrates in the food. Okay, so these are the things they are saying that what you are allowed to do. Okay, but there is no upper cap, or you can say limit, on the use of added sugar. Okay, so that is about this particular article, which is related to your artificial sugar or added sugar, okay, or the sweeteners. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now we can move to the next part of our discussion, that is related to here you can say this deep fakes, or you can say artificial intelligence, or you can say voice swapping technology, etc. So let's see what these voice swapping technologies is. Why this is of a concern for us right now, because you must have seen that recently elections are there. Okay, now because of the elections, what is happening is that various political candidates, or you can say even people attached to them or their political parties, or maybe even people from the you can say our citizens, these people are basically who are supporting a particular political parties. They are creating some kind of narrative, and that happens in every time when we are talking about elections. So these narratives comes to the you can say public discourse. But the thing is, because of the invent of the artificial intelligence, because of these deep fakes, there are certain disinformation, misinformation, or you can say incorrect things are also prevalent or going viral in the public domain. Okay, so that is basically they have this tendency to influence the public opinion in a wrong way. Okay, so that is what there is a concern related to deepfakes, and even when we are talking about the election, it is even more a threat to the democratic process. Okay, so now let's see what is happening. So recently two videos has been going viral. One is of Amir Khan. Second is of Ranveer Singh. Okay, now when we are talking about these two videos, what is happening over there, they have been superimposed by some other voice alternatives, and now it is giving an impression that Amir Khan is supporting Congress, or you can say a particular political party over here. Okay, and then there is another video which is saying that Ranveer Singh is talking about condition of unemployment and inflation, and ultimately going against the rule of the ruling party right now. Okay, so these are the two videos which has been going viral, but the thing is, after the looking at the video, you will realize that these videos are not real. Okay, so how will you see that? We will discuss, but the thing is, these videos are being made by deep fakes. Okay, one video is from his show, that is Satyamev Jayate. That show was quite famous, and they have tried to manipulate in such a way that it is giving an impression that it is supporting a particular political party. It is supporting a narrative of Nyay, or you know that there is a political party, they have this particular manifesto with the name of Nyay Patra. Now ultimately it gives an impression that he is supporting a particular political party, but that is not the case, because these are created by the deep fakes. There is this technology that is called voice swap technology. Okay, so what is happening over here is that, let's say there is a video which is already available. Okay, so this video is already available over here. There is a voice, but that is being mute, and there is an alternative voice, or you can say audio, which has been added over here. Now with this particular video, the tool, or you can say the AI tool, or the deepfake tool, is basically learning the voice modulations. What is the tone, what is the accent, what is the pitch, all these things. It has been learned by this particular voice sample or the original video, and using that particular input and this particular prompt which has been given by a third person to this AI tool. So ultimately this tone is, or you can say this audio is been given to this AI tool, which has learned the accent and the tone of this particular video, and they will generate a new video, new audio attached to this particular video. Okay, so let's say I have said something, and then that AI tool has learned my voice, my pitch, my modulations, all these things AI has learned from my original video. But now what has happened, that someone has given a prompt to the AI tool that this particular video should be attached with this particular audio. Okay, and then that audio will be modified in my tone, my modulations, my pitch, and then it will be added to that particular video. Now this is called voice swapping, or you can say voice swap technology, which has been used over here. Now there are various tools which are available in the public domain for free. Okay, so it is very easy to go and do such things in the today's era. Okay, so now coming to the article, I hope this is clear. What is the deep fake? What is the, when we are talking about the deep fake, we have already discussed it, but I will tell you, deep fake is nothing but there is already existing a particular, you can say, content, okay, on which you will superimpose something else, and that will create whole together a new content that is a result of your AI, but this is not a true picture. That is why you can say that it is a deep fake. Now while looking at it, you will not be able to identify that if it is real or not until unless you are some kind of expert, or you have some kind of rational thinking that this might not be true. Okay, so that is one thing. Now coming to the article, hold on a second. Okay, so as I told you, I have already discussed that there were two kind of videos which has been going viral. One is related to your Amir Khan, then second is related to Ranveer Singh. Okay, now that is there. Now coming to the voice swap technology. Now Itisar AI, there is this particular app. I will not go into details of this particular name, but there is this app which is there. Videos were generated using voice swap technology. What is voice swap technology? I have already told you. Here you can say, as the name suggests, this refers to a process of using an AI algorithm to either alter, mimic, or an individual's voice. Okay, alter or mimic the voice. Okay, the technology also allows the creators to change the characteristics of the voice, such as accent, tone, pitch, speech patterns, to make the videos more realistic. Okay, so that is another characteristics which I have already told you, that they will be able to change the voice modulations, they can be able to change the pitch, they can be able to change the tone, accent, etc. Okay, currently there are several easy to use AI voice swap tool available in the market for free. Simply upload or record the audio sample that she wants to replace, and then customize the settings to make the uploaded sample sound as realistic as possible. Now simply if you see, if you are going for the post of an story on Instagram, so there is one particular video is there, and now you are going to the tab given, or music tab given, and you are adding music to it. Okay, so now with a picture or with a video, you can mute the video and go for another sound which is imposing over that, and now that when you post that story, the music which you have selected, that will be there. Now similarly, what that will happen, there will be a video. Now you will add another music from outside, that is basically your audio, and they will give you another video with that particular kind of audio. Okay, so that is voice swapping. Now spotting the deep fakes. Now spotting a deep fake, a normal layman might not get an idea. Okay, so that is why this is very easy for people to go for this kind of, or believing this kind of misinformation, disinformation in the time of elections. But there are certain ways. Verify the source. When someone has said something like that on a particular show, let's say in this particular case, Amir Khan is seen to be saying something on the Satyam Jayate. You can go and watch the Satyam Jayate and can then verify it. But people again don't have such kind of time. Okay, so that is one thing. Verify the source. So if you can't verify the source, please don't believe on such things. That is one thing. Okay, then listen for the anomalies. Whenever there is a superimposition of an audio, or whenever there is a modification which has been done in an audio, so there are some kind of anomalies which will be there, anomalies, or you can say some kind of discrepancies which can be there. Okay, so if you are a person who has known Amir Khan, or you have seen Amir Khan speaking, so you will realize that there is some kind of discrepancy in the pattern he is speaking, and that particular you can say AI tool is speaking, or that particular you can say video is saying. Okay, here you can see voice is unnatural tenor, slightly robotic in nature, and it has irregular pauses. Okay, so that is one thing. Second thing is, when we speak, there are some kind of fillers. Okay, like when I'm speaking and there will be some kind of fumbling, then there can be some kind of filler like like that. So most of the time you will see that will be missing from such artificial or robotic voices. Okay, so that is another thing. Then scrutinize the visual content. When you are looking at the video, you will see that their lip movement or lip syncing is not there. Okay, what video is saying, what their lips are moving in direction, that will be different. So that is your video scrutiny, or scrutinize the video content, because the lips do not move in sync. Okay, stay informed. Like as an UPSC aspirant, you are informed about the news which is happening worldwide. So stay informed. That is one way. If there is something you can say fake news in front of you, you will be able to identify that this is not the case. Okay, then use AI voice detections. Okay, or there is detectors, since there are AIs which can generate such things, there are AIs which can detect such things. Okay, so you can go for those tools as well. Okay, now again, most of the people don't have such kind of time, so mostly whatever is there on the WhatsApp University, we will try to see that it is true only. Most of the time you will see in the hinterland areas, WhatsApp is the kind of spreading of news. Okay, it's like some kind of WhatsApp media is there. Okay, so basically if there is a message in the WhatsApp, so you will see that most of the people will think that it is correct only. Okay, because there is no source to verify all these things. So that is some kind of, you can say, a disadvantage of living in an age of social media. Okay, now we can move further with the next article. That article is related to Iran issue which is happening recently. So as I told you, there was one shipment which was considered as Israeli shipment, and that was taken you can say Iran has taken that particular shipment in their control. In that shipment, there were people from various nationalities. Okay, Russian, Filipinos, and Indians. Even Indians were there. So there were 17 people from India's side, the Indian citizens, you can say, over there on the crew. Out of which one lady candidate was there, and she was sent back to India, and she has come to home. So basically, after that, about the 16 other people, they have talked about, Mr. Jaishankar has a talk with the foreign minister of Iran, and then they have said that they are with the crew, they are free, and they are there with their own will, because they wanted to be with the captain. Okay, now that is the thing. Captain is there on the ship, and they are under the command of the captain. Okay, so that is you can say a sigh of relax for us. Second thing is that when we are talking about this incident which is happening now, Iran is saying that India should be a part of you can say process wherein we can establish a peace. Okay, urge India to maintain its active role to help stop war in Gaza, says Iran. Okay, so Iran is saying that you should help in stopping war in Gaza. Okay, so there is this Swiss peace deal which is supposed to happen, and Switzerland has also invited India. Even Israel, even the countries like Palestine, Israel, they are also saying that India should be part of it. So ultimately India might be part of this particular deal. And now, by looking at these scenarios, we can say that India has come a long way. Now people want India to be there on that high table. When we are talking about this Russia-Ukraine peace, which I told you that there will be a Swiss peace process that is between Russia and Ukraine. In that particular Swiss peace process also, Switzerland, even and Ukraine, they want India to be there because India has a good relationship with Russia. Okay, similarly in this particular case, when we are talking about the Gaza, India has good relationship with Israel, as well as when we are talking about the Palestinian, India has always supported the cause of Palestinians. Okay, so that is why they want that India should be part of that particular process. Okay, now coming to the article, at the heart of the Iran, I'll tell you the story what is happening over here, because going into this article will be repetitive in nature, because we have already talked about that. There was this 1st April attack which has happened in Syria by some forces, and Iran is saying that attack on their embassy in Syria was done by basically Israel. Okay, Israel has not taken the responsibility, but Iran anyway had retaliated with more than 300 missiles on Israel. Now Israel is saying that they will also take revenge. Okay, so that is one thing which has happened. Now there are certain things Iran is saying that what we have done is that we have gone for the self-defense. We have tried to retaliate in a self-defense. Okay, so there are certain treaties which has been mentioned over here, so you can remember, or you can say give it a look. Here you can see there is this 1961 Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. So Iran is saying that when Israel has attacked on this particular embassy in Syria, that was violation of this particular treaty, that is 1961 Vienna Convention of Diplomatic Relations. Second, it is also violation of 1973's New York Convention on Prevention and Punishment of Crime against internationally protected person, including the diplomats. Okay, in that particular attack, the commander of Iranian forces died. Okay, so that is why these two treaties has been violated on the part of Israel. Okay, so since they are accusing Israel of that particular attack, so now please remember these two treaties. UPSC has this tendency, if you must have seen that there was this treaty which was related to prisoner of war, etc. So these treaties are international treaties which are quite important. So please remember 2-3 treaties which has been in news. Okay, now second, they are concerned about the safety of citizens. Here there is a worry in Delhi about the conflict expanding since there are about 9 million Indians living in the region. How do you solve these concerns? Okay, so there is the concern of the safety of citizens. Okay, when we are talking about this particular attack which has been done by Iran on Israel, that 300 missiles in retaliations was fired, they have said that we did not have any intention to target any kind of civilians. What we have targeted was military bases over there. Okay, so we were aware about that particular situation. Israeli regime has killed more than 35,000 Palestinian civilians, many of whom were women and children in the past. In 7 years, only triggered military bases. Okay, so basically they are saying that they have done it, but we have already targeted the military bases. This is the reply of Iran's foreign minister. Okay, other than that, here you can see the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has a phone conversation with the Iranian Foreign Minister Hussein Amir Abdullahian. What was the gist of the conversation? So in that conversation they have talked about the condition of the 17 people which were there over there, and the access to representation, all these things, that like someone from the Indian side can meet them. Other than that, they have also talked about the de-escalation in that particular situation. Iran is saying that we have done what we had to do. We have settled our dues, like we have to retaliate. We have done that. So on our part, we are done. If Israel is doing something, that is that will be escalating the situation in the Middle East. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now we can move to the another part that is related to your India-Pakistan. Here there is nothing much to discuss, but there was a visit which has been done by Pakistan's Punjab Chief Minister Maryam Nawaz. She has quoted her father that he was Nawaz Sharif. He was 3-time Prime Minister. He said, "Don't fight wars with neighbors. Open the door of friendship. Open the door of your hearts." Okay, so that has been said by her at Kartarpur Sahib. Okay, so this Kartarpur Sahib has been news in last 3 to 4 years, because there was this Kartarpur corridor which has been started between India and Pakistan. That was corridor related to this Kartarpur Sahib, which is in Pakistan. This is a holy site for Sikhism. Okay, so people from the Dera Baba Nanak, which is in Gurdaspur in Punjab of India, and from there to Kartarpur in Pakistan, they have started up you can say corridor. Okay, earlier what used to happen is from this particular border they used to have this telescope and they used to go for the you can say darshan of that particular shrine. But the thing is, now there is this corridor. Okay, now what I wanted to tell you is that one thing you remember, that is from Dera Baba Nanak to Kartarpur side, there is this corridor between India and Pakistan. Second thing is, it is on the Ravi river. Okay, so please remember that, Ravi river. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So this is what has been said. Islamabad is exploring a low-key, low-risk engagement with Delhi, and Delhi is waiting for these elections to finish, and afterwards they will see what can be done with the Pakistan. We have this instance that till Pakistan is supporting terrorism, we will not be having any kind of relations with Pakistan. Okay, so that is another part. Now moving to the next part, which is related to Houthi group want France to repay billions it charged for loss of colonial income. Okay, so basically when we are talking about this particular group, Houthi group, here you can see in the Caribbean we have this particular island which is divided into two parts. This part, or you can say western part of that island, that is basically Houthi group. Okay, now this was a former French colony, and France has left this particular area in 1804. Okay, now at that point of time they have taken some kind of money, they have taken some kind of, you can say amount that from that particular area. So let's see, France should repay billions of dollars in reparation to Haiti to cover the debt formerly enslaved people were forced to pay in return of recognizing the island's independence. So when France was leaving, they have taken money to give the independence over there. Okay, the Caribbean island became the first in the region to win its independence in 1804 after a revolt by enslaved people, but in a move that many Haitians blamed for 2 centuries of turmoil. France later imposed a harsh reparation for lost income, and that debt was only fully repaid in 1947. So they have actually said that since because of the war etc., we have lost some certain income and you have to pay for it, and in 1947 till 1947 from starting from 1804 till 1947 they kept paying that particular debt, and they have fully fully paid that debt in 1947. Now recently they are saying that they want it back. Okay, a new independent commission to oversee the restitution of what they refer as a ransom. Okay, they say the money should go to the public works in Haiti, efforts to restore security after a period of devastating violence by the armed group. Okay, so this particular island was in news because of the violence also. Okay, there were various armed forces which were fighting over there, which we have already discussed in our news on map, I guess, or otherwise also in our news analysis session also we have taken this particular issues related to Haiti. Okay, it's 21 billion plus 200 years of interest, that is nearly somewhere around 150 to 200 billions or even more. Okay, so that is the amount Haiti is asking from France again. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now moving to the next part, here this is the world page. Here you can see Iran could review whatever article we have discussed till now. These were from the first page, or the discussions from the Indian Express network etc. Now on the world page there are this article which is related, Iran could review its nuclear policy amid Israeli threats. Okay, so they are whenever there is the situation of war etc., such statements comes. Okay, so Iran has this Iran started building this nuclear capacity, but for the, you can say, civilian use, but now they are saying that they will also go for the review of this particular nuclear policy. In the first place, this is the policy, or you can say this is the reason Iran was actually isolated from USA because of their nuclear policies. Okay, that is one thing. UK, US announced a new sanctions on the Iran after weekend barrage on Israel. Okay, because of the war, they have announced a new sanctions, economic sanctions on the Iran. Okay, then there is this new colonial aid to Ukraine won't change frontline situation. So USA has provided another aid package to Ukraine. Okay, so there is nothing much to discuss because these are things which are happening on daily basis. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now last part of the day, which is related to your for our own read, that is anti-Maoist operation status check. Okay, we have talked about this particular issue of Naxalism, Maoism. We have already discussed it in detail. here there is nothing much to go on, but I would suggest that last two paragraphs, that government's final push and the concerns over the rights violation. Okay, so these two things you can actually go for, otherwise everything is covered. Okay, now these particular areas like this is Chote Betia, then Dantewada, Sukama, Bastar, Kondagaon, all these areas are basically flashpoint, or you can say Naxalism affected areas. Please remember 2 or 3 names. If you can mention in your you can say mains answer writing, that will give you some extra marks. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now let's move to the last part, that is basically your prelims practice question. Which of the following is most commonly used to create deepfakes? A type of malware, synthesis media created using deep learning algorithms, an error in digital media, a type of high resolution images. Okay, so I hope this is a very simple question. You can attempt this question and answer in the comment box. Okay, so with that I would like to take your leave. If you have if you have not actually subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel, and I hope you are watching the current affairs as well as MCQ practice series under target UPSC Prelims 2024. That will be very beneficial for you. And recently there was this cutoff which has been released, so please go through the analysis, or you can say trends, where you can see that cutoff is been decreasing, and because of which you can say that the paper is tough or unpredictable, so prepare accordingly. Okay, so I hope you have a good day. Thank you.